Hello and welcome to the presentation on ground nesting birds in semi-arid grassland ecosystem of Solapur, Maharashtra. Myself, Dr. R. V. Hippargi, I am working as Associate Professor in the Walchand College of Arts and Science, Solapur. My contact details are given herewith. Now, let us understand what are the learning objectives of today's presentation. We will start to realize the distribution and significance of the semi-arid grassland ecosystem in India. And then we will examine the common ground nesting birds which are found in this kind of the ecosystem or the forest, or in simple language we call as jungle, which is found in our area. And then finally we will identify some of the important issues and challenges of this ecosystem and discusses what the organisms which are found there, which live there in this particular ecosystem. So before we continue, a very important question which comes here is, what is a grassland ecosystem? Now this is very much clear if you look at the picture, and in this picture you can see here most of the area it is open. There are very few trees found in this particular ecosystem, and most of the land it is covered with the grasses or the small herbs and shrubs. Tree cover is very less. Two pictures they are taken just to differentiate between the green grass which is found after the rainy season and the lower picture which is taken in the summer season, where you can see the beautiful but entirely dried grass and the indicator species of this ecosystem, that is the black buck, a very famous animal that is found commonly and well spread in India. It is the black buck species. Therefore, now the definition of the grassland ecosystem it is given here. It is a land with the continuous herbaceous cover with less than 10% of the tree cover. So this you can very easily compare. If you compare with the rainforest, wherein the entire area it is covered with the green canopy, and here you will find almost no canopy there because trees are absent mostly in this particular ecosystem. So where do you find, or what is the distribution of semi-arid grassland ecosystem in India? This ecosystem is predominantly found in the areas which receive very less rainfall, especially in the Deccan Plateau states in the peninsular India. So the most common states where very nice semi-arid grassland is found in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. So do you think this particular ecosystem is important ecosystem? This ecosystem is also very significant because it provides us various kind of the ecosystem services. Means it is important. It offers us free services. So some of the major services are highlighted here. They recharge the aquifers, means the rainwater is absorbed, they act like sponges, they maintain the air quality, they sequester the carbon dioxide which is released from us, from the industries, from the vehicle emissions. It is absorbed by the grassland ecosystem. Therefore, it serves as a sink for this pollutant which is responsible for the climate change or which is responsible for the greenhouse effect. Semi-arid grassland is also responsible for the formation of the soil. It controls the soil erosion. It provides to the millions of the livestock which is raised by the farmers. So to these livestock, grassland is a major food fodder, fiber and fuel. This ecosystem supports a diverse range of the biodiversity. You know, biodiversity is found in any ecosystem. It is important for the pollination. It is responsible for the pest control, and therefore they are important for maintaining a sort of ecological balance. They regulate the human diseases because many organisms which are found in this ecosystem are responsible for controlling the number of the mosquitoes, that is the arthropods which act as a carriers for the human diseases. It provides the natural medicines. Most of the medicines which are found in the pharmaceutical uh, shops, their origin is somewhere in the forest, like Siberian Russian ecosystem. Aesthetically, culturally, and socially, also they are very important. Dhangar population community, which we find in the Maharashtra, for them, the semi-arid Russian ecosystem is everything. In their culture, their ethos, their values, traditions, their languages, everything which is related coherently with the semi-arid Russian ecosystem. Therefore, this ecosystem is socially also very important. So, although it is a very important ecosystem, there are various challenges to this ecosystem because we consider this ecosystem as a wasteland and it is perceived as species poor and therefore it is neglected. And very few studies are found as far as ecosystem, biodiversity, and ecology of this ecosystem is concerned. Historically, also, this ecosystem is very important. If you go back 200 years, you'll find some very prominent names who studied in this ecosystem. And one important name which comes here is the Alan Hume, who was the founder of the Indian National Congress, who extensively studied on the species, the birds especially which are found in the semi-arid Russian ecosystem, and meticulous notes they were maintained in the form of the books, and a large number of the faunal series have been published by these Britishers. Another name is a British officer, Davidson and Welden, and one of the page which I highlighted here, you can see here the name of Nagar, Pune, Sholap, and Satara, where these people they have conducted the surveys for the study of the birds and other wildlife which is found in semi-arid Russian ecosystem. So one important bird which comes immediately because when the name of the sonopter comes, the immediate the fauna of the species which comes in front of us is the great Indian bustard, which we call in Marathi as the mar dog. It is called as farmer's friend because it controls insect pest. It is a voracious feeder. It feeds on a huge number of the insects and therefore it controls the insect population. You can see the difference, size difference, color difference between the male and female great Indian bustard. So this picture shows the another bird which is called woolly necked stork, just to differentiate between the Marduk and very similar bird morphologically which is found in our ecosystem is the Kandesar, which is called in Marathi, but there are few differences. After the experience, you will easily differentiate between these two birds in the field. Look at the difference in the beak size, the color also little bit it is similar, but with experience one can differentiate. This is mostly found in the near the aquatic ecosystem, but it ventures in the grassland also. So few people they confuse between these two birds. So this picture, this slide, it shows the various kind of the insects and the organisms upon which great Indian bustard and some other ground nesting birds they feed. The food includes scorpions, termites, ants, many types of the insects, spiders, various kind of the lizards and geckos which are found in this ecosystem. So this thickney, another bird which is found here, which you can see here on the left side, it is very difficult to note this bird in the Russian ecosystem because once it observes you, it freezes immediately, and then it is very difficult to differentiate this bird in the dried twigs and grasses because its color merges with the background. Therefore, it is very difficult to see this bird. Another important bird is Indian courser. You can see their eggs. These eggs are laid directly on the ground. Normally, one or two eggs are laid by the thickney and Indian courser. These are very common birds which you have encountered in the semi-arid Russian ecosystem. They are well dispersed. They are very common in our ecosystem. Yellow-wattled lapwing and red-wattled lapwing. Red-wattled lapwing is normally found in agricultural ecosystem, and yellow-wattled lapwing prefers to stay at the border, at the cotonal region between the agriculture and the grassland ecosystem. They lay normally 4 to 5 eggs directly in a cup-shaped scrape which is prepared on the ground itself. These are the small birds which are found in the grassland ecosystem. They are called as chandol in Marathi and in English Commonly they are called as lark. Various species of the lark are found. All of them they lay eggs in the cup-shaped nest which is prepared normally using the grass. So this is the Indian bush lark. The second is the ashy crown sparrow lark. Another species which is found of the lark is rufous tail lark and sykes lark. They lay normally 2 to 3 eggs, and their niches, microhabitat, differ a little bit. So these are little bigger birds compared to the lark. They are the francolin, which is called in Marathi as titar. In the second, on the right side, you can see here, it is a rock bush tail. They lay near about 6 to 7 eggs sometimes. They are white in shape, and they are also laid on the ground. So Indian nightjar, which is called as ratwa, and chestnut-bellied sandgrouse, which is called in Marathi as pakhudi. They are very interesting species because recording these species, observing these species, detecting these species in the grassland ecosystem is very tough. Their eggs are also laid on the ground, directly on the ground. A very simple scrape is also there. But these birds are highly camouflaging, and detecting, recording them is very tough. Now I will come back to the great Indian bustard. This species is now nearing the extinction. It is on the verge of the extinction. There are many threats and concerns as far as this bird is concerned. The number of this bird has declined to 150 on the planet Earth. It will be wiped out entirely from the planet Earth very soon if precautions are not taken. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, look at the number at Nandas, Karmala and Rayapuri. Karmala and Rayapuri in the year 2002 itself, the bird went locally extinct. And in the Nandas this year, as per our record, in 2019 the number is 0. Means from Nandas, Karmala and Rayapuri in Maharashtra, from 3 places, this bird has gone extinct. So what are the learning objectives we could achieve in this presentation? So at the outset, in the conclusion, I will say we tried to realize the meaning and distribution of the semi-arid grassland ecosystem in the Maharashtra. We could also appreciate the various wonderful ecological services this forest provides us, and we also experience the diversity of the ground nesting birds in this ecosystem and their issues and challenges, and what we should do in the future to protect these species. I also highlight the objectives, learning objectives for the next presentation, because this same topic, but in more length, in more detail, on the Great Indian Bustard, I will continue. So in the next presentation, we will have introduction to the Great Indian Bustard, history about the distribution of the Great Indian Bustard in India, what are the different reasons that may have caused the extinction of the Great Indian Bustard in India, and what we can do to avert this danger, which is a national disaster, I will say, because such a huge, wonderful, beautiful species which will be removed, which will be nearing the extinction. So what is our role as a human being, as a scientist, as a science faculty member, and especially me, who is dealing with the zoology, that is animal sciences? So it will be a sort of the brainstorming session which will address the issues and challenges of the Great Indian Bustard extinction in India. These are the references, and have taken mostly the references on which I am working upon, and all the pictures which are shown, they are original, and the copyright for the same is to me and my friends who work with me. Thank you very much for the patient